Right, hello everyone. So today is the 3rd of July. Let's take a look at the market. Now, as you can see, we're on a new month, right? So the monthly is down, as you can see. So with this new month set up here, let's do this. Okay, so we've got a new month bar. Okay, it's right there. You can't really see it. Okay. So we should tip up a little bit into the 1930s, I'm thinking, before we decide to sell again. Now here we've got on the weekly goodbye PM kiss, we've got 52, which is 1942. But on the daily, we've got targets here, 30, okay? And then we've got 30s here, 49, okay, 1933, 1939. So I'll mark the locations here. Let's do this. 1933, 1939, and 1942, I think it was. Somewhere around there, okay? So if we go up, we want to be sellers from this zone. Now, 1905 and 1908 are the supports, okay, on the PST levels. So that's going to be on the daily there, 1905. Okay, so let's do that. And got 1908 on the weekly HCL one. Okay, so which is the goodbye kiss on the daily, 34, as you can see, 1905. On the weekly, the HCL one is 1908 here, which the market closed above on both occasions. So what the market might do is this. If we come down first, we could go up. Now, these were the Astro hours for last week. As you can see, the market, I've also noted the market should have a push down. And then from these hours, as you can see, we should have a mild push towards closing. And that's what the market did. Now, this week's Astro hours on a Monday, well, this Monday's Astro hours anyway, if you took astrology from me, you would have marked those in 7:45 to 8 o'clock. Also, let's take a look at the next one. So the next one's going to be at 12:05 today. 12:05. Vertical line properties. So let's do this. So they're here. Okay, so these are all the Astro hours for today. So if we come down, it's okay to go up in order to sell off, because on the monthly, we're going to be closing this gap at 1932.33. On the weekly, okay, on the weekly, if we come there, you'll see the goodbye kiss at 1942, okay, which is there. And on the daily, we've got those targets as 1933 to 39. So this zone of 1933 to 42 is kind of looking okay to be selling off. Okay, so if we do go up there, selling here would be ideal. If you want to buy down here, you got to cover your trade at the daily, weekly, because, you know, that's just how it is. Because this may fail and continue to go down. Why? Because the trend is still down. Okay. Now on the daily, if you take a look here, you'll see that this was a support zone, and I said the market should pick up a little bit from here. And remember, we had Wednesday last week as a swing day and Friday as a swing day for gold. All right, so Wednesday and Friday. So Friday it also made a nice dip from here. We went up from Friday onwards here. According to our Astros, I said we should have a mild push up until closing, and that's what the market did from these Astro hours here. And I also talked about a sudden move here at these hours too. So no big deal here. Like I said, if we go back up, selling is the option here. If you want to buy on the daily, weekly, or slightly lower at Astro hours to go up there, that's also doable. Let's take a look at the euro dollar. Now with the euro dollar on a monthly chart, as you can see, got this 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe we'll do a 5, but I'm not sure how that's going to pan out. This one looks like possibly shorting down. So I've marked in some levels here. As you can see on the PST, I've got 48, which is 1.0776, and 53, 1.1060. So if I just narrow this down a little bit, okay, and 1.07, well, that's going to be a bit lower down. Let's do this. If I just push up a little bit, 1.0780 is around there. Okay, so we've got a target down here. As you can see, that's a sell-off at Astro hours there. Let me just refresh this so we get the daily and the weekly pivots sorted out. So market has done a great push up. Okay, so that's a good push up, and a good sell-off down. So we should come down into that zone there. Okay. Now, once the market breaks down, if you take a look at the daily here, okay, before we go to the daily, we've got 1.0967 on the weekly. So let's put that in 1.0967. So the market can go up. If it does, we want to be sellers this week around here. Okay. Slightly up there, 1.0967 in this zone if we go up there. Okay. So that's a good impulse wave. Market coming back to fill it in and then going up there and then selling off would not be a bad idea. On the daily, as you can see, the market can push down. We're right on the resistance level there. So market can come down. If it does, we've got room to come down into this zone here, as you can see. So what to do with this is, if the market goes up this week into this zone, we can sell it off. Okay, because the trend looks like down and selling is not a bad idea. If you take a look there, that push is down. Okay, so going down with this wave should bring us lower. So any up target is an opportunity for us to sell down into this target. Obviously, do it at the Astro hours. Now, on the weekly, you can see what the highs as well, and this is an indecision bar. Selling inside here is okay, so I marked that level. If you take a look at the monthly as well, we're in this zone here, so maybe we'll come down and then go up, because this is looking like also 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 before we do an ABC down, and this will be the first wave. There'll be the second wave coming down here, and then if it breaks above that, we'll be in the third wave, and the trend would be going upwards. All right, so we can also keep an eye on that move as well by keeping kind of like our eyes on this on the longer time frame though. Okay, so until then though, we're in between levels, as you can see on the monthly. So going down into that weekly or monthly zone here is looking like a better option. This 44 level is 1.0685. So we've got 1.0785, 1.0685, which is also on the price as well. Okay, so selling is not a bad idea if the market goes up. You can also sell on the daily pivot if it goes up and it's an Astro hour. All right, so just be mindful with the Astro hours. Let's take a look at the US 30. Now, if we take a look at the monthly on the Dow Jones, let's do this. Okay, this zone, as you know, is our sell zone here. And it could also be just this bar here. Let me just get rid of this. Get rid of that. Market could also just muck around with this as well here. All right, which is fine. I'm just going to extend that a little bit. Okay, and that's that. Now, what we are in is July here, so you can't see that bar so small right now. Okay, but if I make it a little bigger, it's like a line here. Okay, so that's that. So this zone for us is still a sell zone. Okay, so selling off is not a bad idea on the highs of the week. And if I just go forward on the weekly, we're right there. So on the weekly, I got 60 here, which is 34,734. 34,734. 734. Let's just go forward a little bit. Let's bring this down. 34, 730. So we can still head off into that zone there. Okay. And that will be a sell zone for us as well. Let me just refresh that. All right, so that zone is definitely there, a sell zone if we get up into that zone. Now, this is a good push up. As you can see, the market pushed up accordingly. What I said, what I wrote down for Friday, and that's fine. Okay. What you might want to do, this is going to pull back a little bit. It should pull back if it's going to close this gap, at least into this zone. And the high of that is 33,811. So 33,811 is pretty far down here. 33,881. All right, about there. So if we do pull back, it'll pull back. So selling down towards the weekly pivot is not a bad idea. Now I'm going to get rid of this. Okay. So selling down here is not a bad idea. And if the market comes down into that zone, okay, which is the high of that, sorry, that's 34,151. Sorry about that. 34,151, which is exactly here. Okay. I'm going to get rid of these. Don't worry about these. It'll probably come back to the weekly at Astro Hours. Here you can buy. Astro Hours from the high to push down, you can sell. First target, second target down here. Okay. And then if we go further up, you can sell off in this zone as well. Let's take a look at the SP 500. So it's a new month on this one. Okay, and this zone is again a sell zone. So we're right there on the new month. All right. On the weekly, there we are on the weekly there. So on the weekly, we might go higher, okay, which might take us to 72.36, which is 4,526. So going into 4,526 is an option. I'm just going to refresh this. Now, 4,526 is way, way up there. So before we go up there, we'll probably come down. So at Astro Hours, if you find a high spot, let's see if we have anything on the daily. Okay, that's a big push up. So we should, it's also taken all the stops out. So I want to be selling actually from these levels to push down, because at the end of the day, we should come back here. All right, into this zone there. As you can see, they've taken out the stops. So a bit of a retracement is in order. So because we're intraday trading, okay, at Astro Hours, selling the highs, looking for a sell setup here is okay. But when it comes back down to the daily or the weekly, or back down here, you should also be looking for a buy spot, because that's a huge impulse wave there. All right. So if interest rates are going to go up, they should be looking to sell from a spot. Okay. So selling from the highs is an option. Like I said, that 4,526 is way, way up there, but just mark it in, because if we do go up there this week, okay, it's going to be a sell zone. Now, the support for this week is going to be on this blue line here, and that's your LCL1, which is 4,408. So 4,408 is going to be down on the weekly. This is why I said if we come down to the weekly, you should also be a buyer if it's an Astro hour. Okay, so it's a little tricky on the SP 500 as well, but you can see they've swept the stop losses. So looking to sell to push down into a retracement is a better idea. If it goes up first, we should be looking for a sell level. We should be looking for a sell spot on this one, okay? Especially today is a swing day for SP 500. Let's take a look at NASDAQ and Bitcoin. Now, this is the new month on the NASDAQ. As you can see, it's just a dot here. It's right on this line, okay? On the price, I've got 15,382. So coming up here a little bit is okay. And the low of that is 15,500. So 15,382, 15,500 is okay. So selling in the 15,500s is fine. And this 77 is 15,305. So looking to sell 1,500. Let's take a look where we are with this one. Okay, it's not a bad idea. Okay, so 305 is there. Okay, which is right there. That's one zone there. And like I said, let's check out the weekly as well. 77, that's 305. The daily, that is the weekly. Let's take a look at the daily. 370. Okay. What's that on the LCL one? 237. And we've got 69.70 here. 15,338 to 436. So that is a bit up there. 446 is right on the Venus line. 446 right there. So here we are, okay, looking to go short from these zones. Might go slightly higher into that 15,370 to swipe them out. So that 15,370 is also on the cards there. All right, but you can see the Venus line there as well. So that's a good impulse wave. Any pullback to go up into there is good. If we go up first, we're sellers. All right. So think of it that way. If the market goes up first, we need to sell down. If we go down first into these levels, then we need to buy in order to go up. Let's take a look at Bitcoin on a monthly. The trend is still up on the monthly, so people want to buy Bitcoin. So where can we go to? If we're going to do intraday trading, well, we don't do intraday trading, but if you do, you don't want to be buying around here. So buy on the pullback to go up is the way to go. So where should you go long? Okay, you can go long on these Fibonacci levels here. A good spot would be this 56 level, so 29,879. Okay, so 29. Let me just get rid of these here. 29,879. Okay. Which is pretty much there. Okay, so if the market does come down, you can always go long. I wouldn't be buying at the tops there, so around there somewhere. If the market pulls back into the weekly, again, doable. Okay, you can break out, because if this thing starts to push up, as you can see, we've got room to come up into further highs. And there's a breakout here, so no need to stand in front of it trying to sell it off. Just look for a better place to buy. On the weekly, it's a resistance level here. So waiting for the pullback in order to go up is not a bad idea. The high of that is 28,500. The high of that is 26,800. So between those two levels, 28,500 and 26,500,